Okay, welcome back, folks. Anthony, do you want to get that microphone? Oh, where? There is a microphone somewhere. Oh, can you give that to Anthony, please? Thanks, Doug. Now we have Anthony and a microphone together, and he's going to make an announcement. And then Doug's going to pass the microphone around for your questions, answers, your loving kindness, confusion, whatever shows up, it's good. Okay. Yeah, may confusion dawn as wisdom. Anthony.
So I'm making an announcement regarding our retreat facility.
Is that on? You need to put it closer. It's for the stream. It's a kindness to the streamers.
Not
they
to
can't
me.
Hear without that.
Is this better?
Thank
I always
you.
feel like I'm yelling when I hear the echo of my voice. So we have the retreat facility about 2 hours east of here. I would hope everybody would know about it, but some people don't. And they don't know that we've recently decided to open it up through the end of January. So anyone in the community is welcome to come for up to 3 nights at no cost. So we have many guidelines about this just to make it easier. We don't have a lot of staff. In fact, just me out there.
It's not a lot.
So,
but it's enough. It's enough.
So far, it's working. So if you're interested or curious, we do have some guidelines, and we have an email I can share with you. But just reach out to me either here or if you go to our, I don't know if you're not on the listserv, then you probably don't have my contact information. So just contact me here if you can, or actually most of the people up here and stuff know my contact information. So it's just one of the official KCC contacts. It's SCOL. Yeah.
And that would be, raise your hands, Peter, Willa, Linda G., and Adele downstairs, and Anthony. Yeah. So talk to someone.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. And thanks for being there, Anthony. It'd be empty without you. Or just bears and deer. Okay. Okay, it's your turn.
We'd like you, please, after you ask the question, to just turn off the microphone. Excuse me, the microphone while you're getting an answer, and then turn it back on if you want a follow-up question.
Because the battery wears out.
And apparently it's easier also for the streaming folks if it's off during questions.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Camilo.
So I start by saying I wish I had a simple question.
I wish you did too.
Question is stimulated by a film that I watched last night called The Mountain Between Us. It's a story about 2 people who crash in an airplane. Each of them is in a relationship with someone else. But of course, in the course of surviving, saving one another, they fall in love. They eventually return to their respective lives. But those lives can't continue. They come back together and try to accept that whatever happened on the mountain was temporary. And as I was watching this, I resonated, because that's essentially how I became a Buddhist, because of a relationship that failed. But of course, this is a film, so in the end, they're walking away from each other and turn around and run back and embrace. So, I thought where I had found some resolution and resonance with the film, it didn't happen in the end. And I just, I've always wondered what this Buddhism has to say about intimate relationships, which we all, I think, see as something that should last forever. And I must say, I realize at one level that those lessons that they're impermanent are really good lessons, but I think it's still hard to give up on the expectation of permanence in relationships.
Yeah, it is. It is. We have to look at why. Why is that hard? First of all, no relationship. The expectation is irrational because you can, talk to someone who's been married for 30 years or like my brother and his wife, 60 years, and that relationship was impermanent every moment, up, down. Even in a long relationship, I've experienced in one moment that person appears as beautiful friend. In an angry moment, they appear as an enemy. In another moment, they appear as a neutral. You can be with somebody 11 years and turn around and go, who's this stranger I'm with? So the impermanence is that kind of impermanence also, every moment. But for sure, no matter how long you're together, it will end. Someone will die. Maybe both of you together in an accident or something. So this expectation, part of your question you said, something like it should last forever, or that's our expectation. Well, that's not in line with reality. And whenever we're out of line with reality, we suffer. The biggest suffering is that we are out of line with reality. We don't see things as long as we have a suffering mind, that is a mind that is ignorant of how things are, still has a separate me, something out there to get, something out there to push away. That's the basis of the suffering. And we don't even enjoy the love that we could because of that clinging. Every moment we can be afraid of our partner's desire for others, or jealousy can rise, or confusion can rise, irritation can rise, and all of those are right here. They're not in the partner, they're in your own mind. The Buddha's always pointing here. I can't do anything to make my partner think anything, want anything, not go, stay, change. Oh my God, how much time we spend trying to change our partners. Give it up. Here's what my dear friend Bob Wilson, who's been with his husband for, 20 years or something. And I say, how do you do this? You and John seem pretty happy. And he says, well, whenever all those things come up where I desire or push away, I remember a teacher saying to me, just love him more. We don't know what that means. That kind of love is totally unconditional. It says, I don't need anything from you. I don't want anything from you except your happiness. And even in a moment you're not happy, that's okay with me. I'll just keep working toward your happiness. Now, what kind of happiness? There's two kinds. Oh, there's billions, but I'm just going to make it simple. This is what a teacher told me, and it was very helpful. Two kinds. There's the regular worldly, what she called low-level happiness, of an ice cream cone, of a movie, of great sex, of, feeling that feeling I'm with someone, I'm not alone. So that's good. It's great happiness, but the reason she labels it low level is the long-term happiness is the freedom from trying to control all this stuff, right? And the freedom of seeing we're so interdependent that when my mind is peaceful, when my mind is clear, that's the best happiness. And that happiness is what helps someone else be happy. If I'm wanting, you ever have that? You're with someone and they want stuff from you all the time? God, that's painful. It's kind of like, they want this and they want that, and I can't give that, and I'm not that. And then we're in this thing. We're dropped outside of the reality of the interconnection. So low-level happiness, good, enjoy it. Just know how impermanent it is. And the long-term happiness is the happiness of understanding reality as it is, functioning in the four immeasurables of real loving kindness, of patience, which is actually one of the 6 perfections, of compassion, functioning right in those, no matter what your partner's doing. And that's just such a tall order, but it's the only way out. The other way is want and push away, want and push away, want and push away. How fun is that? We really got to get done with that.
Thank you. That familiar lesson confirms our expectations.
It confirms them? Well, you can decide that. You have to look and see what they do to your mind and heart. That's practice on and off the cushion. We can cling to our expectations. We can. And, see what it does.
Well, it seems to me it always bears repetition.
What is that?
Bears repetition, that lesson.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I have to tell myself every moment. I'm clinging to, I don't like this person not being here for whatever reason. And so I've been grieving for some days. And I just watch it and go, Zopa, whatever made you think that Bill would always be here? We are so stuck in our confusion about permanence. We're still shocked when these kind of changes occur. And that shock, it's fine, it's human. The grief is human, but it's also a measure of how far I am from actually internalizing the Buddha's teachings. It would make sense rather than to expect your partner to stay, in your case, or expect that you'll be lonely or whatever, to expect this will change. This will change. Right now, this moment, so good. We're here together. This is changing right now, and it will change. It is quite possible next time we meet, some of these people won't be here. That's what's normal. We're all cattywampus. We are so cattywampus of what's normal, aren't we? That's a good word, isn't it? Cattywampus upside down. But that's why we're practicing, to get it right side up. And Buddha would say no right side, but, So please ask more questions if that's confusing, because we're kind of stuck in this and we have to help each other till we're unstuck.
Thank you. So just to follow up on that and your answer, which is really helpful. So, you know, we all feel grief, we all feel this, we all feel that. And I mean, to me, there's sort of a, I don't want to say duality, but you want to be human and feel grief, right? I mean, or happiness or joy but so that's, you're not saying that's not okay, right?
Absolutely not. Okay, so you can't help it, you're a human. Okay, I can't. I'm not an animal. I'm not a deity. I'm a human. And it's the beautiful thing and the difficult thing simultaneously. In the Buddhist cosmology, the human realm has this huge opportunity because we're sensitive, because we can use our intelligence, we can learn Dharma, we can learn from our experiences. So it's the best one, better than being an animal or stuck in what are called the hell realms, where there's just constant anger and war and stuff, or being stuck in a blissed out God realm that eventually ends. So being human is like way cool in the Buddhist thing, but it also has limits of aging, sickness, death. Would any of us choose those? Uncontrolled aging. I don't get to choose when I'm going to die. Could be today. Could be 20 years from now. This is true for all of us. It's a great suffering. None of us ever want to be sick, but we get sick. This is part of being human. But it's also this beautiful opportunity because of our wonderful way of being, or really because we have Buddha nature. All the beings in all the realms do, but in the human realm there's this opportunity to really open it and fully realize it. Now, what to do about these emotions is what you're raising up, right? Well, they're going to come over and over, although each time it's thought that they're new. Each moment they're new. So there's three levels the Buddhist teachings are. The first level is kind of renounce them, which is like, especially with anger, I'm going to renounce anger. So when anger comes, I'm going to see it and just go, I don't want that. And this is a good method. I've used it a lot. And instead, I will contemplate patience. What does anger lead me to? People don't like me. It's hard on them. It's harsh. It's detrimental. So patience brings kindness. So I'll really just try for it. So it's very effortful, that one. The second one is more transformative, which is you take the anger and you can use it to actually cultivate non-anger, but you have to see it. So all we do with these emotions is just see them. Just slow down. Just see them. When I'm driving in the car and I get suddenly frightened by someone going around or something, I notice I don't feel fear. I feel angry right away. And so I'm just noticing that, like, wow. And I'm just going, okay. And in noticing, I'm not caught anymore. Do you see the difference? I'm not stuck in the story because I'm looking at the anger like as though it's something to understand, not caught. And then go, there was fear first. That's interesting. I want to try and notice that next time. And that just helps. So the second one is more transformative, like taking it. And the third step is more challenging in a certain way, but it's really the Mahamudra Kagyu way. Just see the nature of it. it makes sense to say, it's so hard to do. That's why we practice.
You know, I take comfort from a story about Gampopa. You know, Gampopa was the main student of Milarepa and also the teacher to the first Karmapa. And he was a physician, and he became a monk because there was a terrible epidemic and he lost his wife and all his children. And it's said that at the funeral of one of his children, he cried. And he said, death is an illusion.
He said what?
That death is an illusion, but the death of a child is the greatest illusion of all.
That is great. Thanks for sharing that. That touches on the contradiction you were bringing up. Yes, it's illusory, and yes, we feel it. And that's fine. We have to. It's a mistake to try and not feel. It really hardens our heart. And Buddhism's about having an open heart. They say Longritampa was this bodhisattva that wrote that incredible short teaching on the 8 verses of thought transformation. If you don't know him, you can look him up sometime. But he was called the crying bodhisattva because he just walked around and he could just see and connect with the deep suffering. And that was revered, that grieving, because it was like, oh, that guy, he gets at least the first noble truth, suffering is. First thing Buddha taught, suffering is. Don't ignore it, don't pretend it's not there. And the second one is get to know it. No, first one is, it is get to know it. The second one is look at the source of it. That's here. Our own mind. How do we know that? Because we can be in the very same situation, 2 people, and one says, God, this is great. And one says, this sucks. So what's that about? Here, you've had that experience, right? One person is going, this is just marvelous. I've just had the best time at that gathering. And then one goes, man, I couldn't wait to get out of there. No different conditions, really, basically. This is where we work, is my reactions. That's the garden. And by the way, I just wanted to say back to your thing, Camilo, when someone dear to us leaves, or, you know, we have a broken heart, I think you know this, but I just want to share it with everyone, to recognize that person as giving us a teaching. You know, not so it increases the attachment more, but that we can bow to them as you just did. Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that person brought you here. And same for me. Yeah, some great suffering brought me here, and I often think of those people and wish them to find a good spiritual path, which may not be Buddhism, that might not be their causes and conditions, but I wish them to be free. And I thank them. Yeah. Okay, back there. Need a mic.
Hi, kind of a similar theme, I guess. So for the holidays, or to escape the holidays, I had planned to go up to British Columbia and have a little winter retreat. But I found out about last week that my dad just retired, or was about to retire after working at the same job for 33 years. So I thought, okay, let's fly back and, you know, be a part of this. And I'm witnessing a lot of things within myself. One is that I don't love to be around family during the holidays. It's just I don't love it. I have a really big family, and it's beautiful and right, yeah. So and then right, it's true. But I don't know. Winter for me is more about retreat and inwardness than all of the purchasing. And anyway, One minor detail is my dad and I have really been on the rocks. We unfortunately got into a couple political scuffles the last couple years, and we actually haven't spoken in about a year. And so I'm like, oh God, kind of nervous. And I just keep remembering that, you know, this is a big deal, and it's bigger than what is actually a very small moment in time of our stuff. And at the end of the day, neither of us are bad people. It honestly just indexes that we are from different generations. But it's also very interesting that I've gone through other great sufferings in the last, year, and I've done a pretty good job of keeping my practice and remembering that even as I suffer physically or emotionally, that I'm also a witness to what I'm experiencing. But as you probably know, man, when you're with family, that stuff can just go out the window. In just one moment of a bitter word can ruin a day. So I'm gonna do my best, but I thought I would just bring it up to see if you had any thoughts.
Yeah. My first thought is me screaming at my brother in his kitchen about a year ago. Or maybe it was before the election, where he was saying a certain Hillary Clinton should be jailed, which he had always been a Democrat, so I was shocked, and I screamed at him. And then I saw myself screaming at him, probably because of some practice. I was able to go, whoa, look at this. And I said to him, I'm leaving the room now and I'm going into the bedroom for a while. And I stayed in there about 5 hours. I'm not kidding. The first hour was just shaking with this energy of anger and rehearsing all my, how good anthem is that, and then I got calmed and I meditated, then I just threw it all aside and read a novel and probably took a nap. And then when I came out of the bedroom, I was like, oh my God, I think I can do this now. I think I can do this. I'm going to say, let's just not talk politics. And of course, it's so funny how things unravel. I opened the door into the hallway, and there's my brother. I thought he'd be in a different part of the house. And this is my big brother, by the way, like 17 years older. So really big brother whom you must obey. And I got it that it was his house and da-da-da. So I was like, okay, I gotta bow to this. So he was going by and I said, maybe good if we don't talk politics anymore. And he didn't even hardly stop. He just kept going very slowly. He said, yes, and it's my house. And I thought, okay, time to love him more. And we did okay. We did okay the rest of the time. We could not touch that, and 2 more times he brought it up, and one more time I left the room, and another time I was able to stay and just not respond. So this is normal. This is the human realm. And yeah, the one thing I do want to say is the more the attachment, the more those difficulties rise. So with strangers, someone says jail Hillary, I feel like, wow, I'm confused. Or I can even feel mad. But if it's my brother in his kitchen, my attachment to him is so strong. I feel like I've got to save him from that. I've got to change his mind, right? I see you nodding. We have to change their minds, okay? We must. We must save them. The closer they are, we must save them. Well, good luck. It does not work. No, we must not save them in that way, as in change their minds. Try to change someone's mind. No, I think we change minds. This is just something I feel like I'm learning myself through this loving them more. You know, my brother is failing in health. I go there, I talk with him. I've shared before that we do the Lord's Prayer together, which is from our old Catholic background. And that's good enough. So I try to find something that I can do with him, not what I can't do with him. And that other part's still there. He still watches a lot of certain TV programs that I don't like, and it goes all the time in the house. But I just try and be kind to him. He's going to die. That's one thing to remember that can bring our kindness. Two things, like he's been very kind to me in the past, and he has. I can name dozens of times of him being loving and kind to me. And he's going to die soon, and he's suffering. So why would I now add to that by telling him he's wrong and he should do this and he should do that? Because what does that do? It just distances us. It's hard. It's really hard work. We just totally stay away now. We both learned because he's yelled at me, I've yelled at him, and we're like, oh, we don't want to do that. Maybe that was the first piece of moving it forward, was we don't want to do that. You know, and he agreed. We don't want to do that. So this is hard work. But this attachment, one more thing about it, when we have societal roles like mom, dad, brother, sister, spouse, children, the attachment's so big, it just comes with those roles, right? And then we get these ideas, like Camila referred to right at the first question, of this should go like this. You're my brother and you're a liberal Democrat. You should always be that. You know, and when you're not that, hark, you know, let's fight. It's just so funny. But think about that. Think about what ideas you hold that cause suffering. My spouse, because of the word spouse, should be like this. We carry these. My son, that was a big one for me. Sons should be like this. Well, they never are. They do their own thing, and you just have to love them more.
Thank you, Zopa.
Yes, thank you.
I can relate to all the things that are going on, particularly the last one. I have family with strong opinions, too. And something you said, Zopa, reminded me of something that has helped me, and that's gratitude. If I can somehow remember their kindness and feel gratitude, then it's a lot easier to keep my mouth shut and just let them be.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jane. It's so important.
My trick is to think it's like Tonglen, and I've been on different sides of the spectrum of large family gatherings or a lot of alone time. And you go, this alone time is great because then I can practice meditation and I don't have to be in the family gatherings that are all dysfunctional. That's one aspect. But at the same time, you know, you might also be thinking of people who are like lonely and would love to be in a family environment, and even if that meant arguing about, you know, someone. And Camilo, I think you had said something the other week about like attachment, right? Being, you know, really kind of the fundamental problem with, you know, like in a relationship, like it's not the passion or the beauty of it, it's the attachment to it. That's the root of the delusion. So somewhere there's a question in there, but I don't know where.
Yeah, I think it's just
This is all really confirmatory because some of you may remember I asked a question a while back about reciprocity. And I think since I've been here, I've really come to understand that it's an illusion.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that adds something that enriches to love them even more, no matter what they're doing. No matter what they're doing. I want people to love me that way. You know, they like what I'm doing, they don't like what I'm doing. I would really just welcome that kind of love. And that's what is more in line with reality. We mess up all the time. My brother loves me, I can see it, you know. Every time we talk on the phone or I go see him, it's there, you know. And sure, he can be very grumpy and crusty and mad about his current limits. That's what he's struggling with, being 89 and blind and more feeble. He's really angry at that, and I try not to get confused that he's angry at me. You know, he's not. He's angry at the situation.
Another thing you said that has stayed with me is that you can't expect to manage a relationship.
Right. No, we manage this. My intention toward the other, my motivation toward the other. We must manage that and keep seeing, is it pure? Is it clear? Is it loving? Is it kind? That we manage. But that's here. What they do, they may slap your face while you're being very kind and loving toward them, you know? And the Buddha, oh yeah, there's a great image that just came to mind, that the Buddha is sitting there with one student praising him and putting perfume and flowers on him, and the other student like hitting him, yelling at him, and the Buddha is fine. Because the Buddha knows what the Buddha's doing, and that's our nature. And we do that no matter what others do, and that's what helps heal the world. Because it's simply, in a really simple way, bringing forth our truest nature. That's all. Right? When it happens, you know it, right? You just feel so happy when you are in that spot. And that's what we practice on and off the cushion, and support each other to do. We may have time for one last question. Trudy?
Can you explain the Buddhist view of organ donation and how that affects our rebirth?
Oh, no, I can't do that. I'll just say a teeny background to the question, I think. There's some teachings in Buddhism that when a person dies, it's best not to disturb the body for 3 days. It's the tradition. So that the consciousness, which has been entwined with the body, but is now, as the body stops, it's unentwining, shall we say, and the consciousness will go on. And the teachings are that it doesn't always get out of the body immediately, that can be a complex process dependent on the person. So there's this idea of not disturbing the body, and organ donation is immediate, or else it's not useful. So that's one piece. But in the complexity of human life, the other piece is it can be a great act of compassion to do that. So each person has to decide for themselves.
The Karmapa has said that the
never give up your own personal experience because someone says this or that. You really got to check here. This is the workshop. So there's no right or wrong exactly. But you can read more about it. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
By this virtue may I quickly realize